I'm on an epic road trip around this beautiful country.
And I am so excited.
My childhood holidays were spent in our little family camper van.
It was a really happy time for all of us.
So I've splashed the cash, got hold of my own and named her after my favourite person.
Say hello to my wonderful camper van, Helen Mirren.
I'm now on an 800-mile adventure.
Here we go.
Round the length and breadth of Britain.
So I'm in charge of the ship.
To find beautiful places.
It's so nice.
And hidden corners.
There's a sheep in my hood.
It's a celebration of amazing locations.
Hello. Yes! He waved at me.
Both big
My word.
and small.
I had a dream like this once, I think, after eating a lot of cheese.
So saddle up and join me
If we do that. I'm Godzilla.
on a magnificent adventure
It feels so wrong to be in first gear the entire time.
on my grand day out. This time I'm in glorious Yorkshire,
That is beautiful.
where I'm meeting talented people.
Paul's a poet. Feel the sea breeze in my hair.
As I walk in the footsteps
Why does everyone keep saying nearly there?
of some of my all-time heroes
I have quite a complicated relationship with the Brontë sisters.
and explore a place that's truly spectacular.
It's real and it's right there.
The dramatic scenery is the first thing that greets you in Yorkshire.
I've been to book festivals here and I love it. I love the people more than anything. But because I've always been working, I've never really explored the countryside. So this is such an exciting thing to be in Helen and to be just driving around Yorkshire because it is so utterly, utterly gorgeous.
Yorkshire is the UK's largest county, but with its rugged landscape comes Helen's first big challenge.
Now, there's a view. What I'm concentrating on more right now is the very steep hill. It's very beautiful, but dear goodness, Helen, please. Oh, come on, my darling. That is beautiful. Oh, Yorkshire, you gorgeous, gorgeous place, yeah. Well done, Helen. Well done. Come on, in we go, sweetie. There we are. Okay. Such a sense of achievement when Helen does what I want.
My first stop is right on the coast, in the beautiful village of Runswick Bay. The spectacular sands here won the accolade of Britain's best beach. It's been described as close to perfection, and it's easy to see why.
Oh, my word, it's gorgeous.
And I'm not the only one today doing a bit of exploring.
Hello, darling. Don't be frightened. Come here, darling.
Might be a little bit scared.
What's her name?
Freya.
Freya?
Got
She's the size of me. I've met Shetland ponies that are smaller than you.
This beautiful beach is the perfect place to start planning my Yorkshire adventure.
It's also remarkably so hot, I might have to take my cardigan off soon, which is quite amazing, I'll be honest with you. So, let me show you, because I've had to lay the maps out where I'm going from. I'm currently here in this beautiful bay.
Helen and I will be travelling southeast to the seaside resort of Whitby, then onward to the market town of Knaresborough. We'll then visit York before heading west to Haworth Village.
And I'm going to end up around here. Now, there will be a test after this, so I hope you're all paying attention.
Although the cliffs of this beach seem timeless, they've actually changed dramatically over the years due to mining and erosion. But I've heard it's also home to a rare stone called Whitby jet. Rebecca Tucker, a jet jeweller, is searching for the semi-precious gem.
Can you tell me about it? What is it?
So jet is an organic gemstone, which means it's derived from something that was once living. It is essentially wood that's fossilised.
Jet has since been discovered as far away as China and the USA. However, the finest quality has always been found here in North Yorkshire.
I find it fascinating because, I mean, I'll be honest with you, and you can tell by looking at me, I'm very much a diamond girl.
Okay.
You can tell, can't you? Well,
Definitely.
she likes diamonds, I can tell. So I've never really encountered jet before. Tell me, can you just find it anywhere?
It has to be washed off the cliffs naturally in order to find it, so it has to be beach combed essentially. So when there's been a big storm or it's the winter, we get a lot of jet being washed up then.
Isn't that just typical of the great British pastime? Only when the weather is bad can you truly find the jet on the beach. That's lovely.
The lightweight nature of jet made it ideal for jewellery making. It was popularised by Queen Victoria, who even made wearing jet mandatory in her court when she was in mourning. She triggered a surge in demand that saw miners blasting holes into the cliff to try and find some.
Here's one.
Yeah,
Here's one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there any way that I can test to find out whether or not it is jet? So, for example, I know this isn't jet before everyone shouts at me. It's a pebble, it's a rock. But is there a way of testing if this is jet or not?
If you got a pale colour piece of sandstone, for example, scraped it on it, if it was jet, it would come up a nice brown, gingery brown colour. The biggest giveaway is actually if it's got bark lines on it as well.
That's not one, is it?
No, it's too grey.
Rebecca's having more luck than me. Who would have thought finding a rock on a beach would be so difficult?
The weather is just too good, it's too calm.
And if we'd come here in a storm, we would have found some. So I'll leave you looking, and I'm going to take this rock home with me though, because it's a symbol of my failure.
You enjoy your rock.
Well done, thanks, Rebecca.
It would have been nice to find my own little piece of Whitby jet, but if that's the cost of seeing this beach on such a beautiful day, it's worth it. And this gorgeous place is bringing back some fond memories.
We used to go to a place called the Isle of Arran off the west coast of Scotland, which is a beautiful place. Summer there is unpredictable, but whatever the weather, we would go down to the beach and go swimming in the sea, slowly turning blue with my mum shouting, "Smile, it looks like you're not enjoying yourself." And I think that's why I'm quite hardy now, because summer holidays were quite cold, but my goodness, we had such a lot of fun once we were protected by that windbreak. Happy days.
And there's a lot more fun to be had around here too. Helen and I are back on the road and making for our next destination.
Oh, she's a full body workout, Helen. Honestly, my core's never been so tight. Cancelled my gym membership at the start of these scenic road trips. Unnecessary.
I'm heading 8 miles down the coast to the seaside resort of Whitby, home of the incredible Whitby Abbey. Bram Stoker, author of the famous Dracula, holidayed here in 1890, and the town inspired his spine-chilling horror. In the book, Whitby was the place a shipwrecked Dracula first stepped ashore in Britain.
I've seen pictures of the Abbey, and I'm imagining a beautiful, picturesque little town. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's all about, because it's not just about Dracula. But I imagine it's quite a lot about Dracula. I won't do that too much, that'll upset people.
Best get it out of my system now.
One Whitby Abbey,
But before I begin to explore, a little light lunch. Whitby has been a fishing port since the Middle Ages. The delicious fresh catch from its beautiful harbour has helped put the town on the culinary map. The Magpie Cafe has been serving locals and visitors for over 80 years, the ideal place to sample some fresh cod and chips by head chef Paul Gilroy.
Hi, what extras can I get with my cod and
Oh,
chips?
I think pickled egg.
No.
No.
No. You wouldn't believe what that would do to my digestive system. Where should I go in Whitby to eat my fish and chips? And I want to eat it somewhere lovely.
I would walk down that way and just feel the sea breeze as you're walking further down, right to the end of the pier.
Paul's a poet. Feel the sea breeze in my hair, like you do, Paul.
Oh, well, yeah. I went when there was a gale out there, yeah.
What's your best seller?
Cod. The chips, peas, everything. Pickled egg.
It's like you're trying to get me to eat a pickled egg.
I'll tell you what, I'll do you the pickled egg for nothing, just so you can try
Paul.
that. Just...
Oh, I feel all of a flutter.
Maybe take the salt.
Yeah, peas on, yep. So it all melts together. Just to pickled egg. Oh, Paul! So that's me fish and chips. Beautiful. I'm going to enjoy my fish and chips and my pickled egg. And I'll walk out like this going, okay? Right, this way.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
OK, see you later. Enjoy Whitby.
Thank you. Pickled eggs.
Well, we'll see about the egg, but fresh fish and chips by the sea is hard to beat.
One of the best parts of a road trip is the bit where you stop driving and have a small snackette, as I'm having just now. I'm going to keep my pickled egg for emergencies. I mean, I'm not sure what emergency will mean I have to eat this, but you never know. It's always good to have a pickled egg in the glove box in case you need it. That van's going to smell. Whoa. So I'll just enjoy the view a little bit.
And a hearty lunch is probably needed here. Apparently, a popular pastime is to follow in the paw prints of Dracula's arrival, when, in the form of a black dog, he climbs the 199 steps to the graveyard of Whitby Abbey. Well, it's said to be 199 steps. It looks a bit more to me.
I'm sure it'll be worth it. Slow and steady. I think that's how we're going to take this. Slow and steady.
I'm told the key is to count each step as you go. I'm even getting a bit of encouragement. Well, sort of.
Not long to go now.
Oh, no, come on now. 199, eh?
You only feel the first 100, you're all
Is
right
that it?
after that.
Great, thanks. Nearly there. Everyone just keeps saying nearly there. Nearly there. I've only done about 10. Oh.
Nearly there.
Why does everyone keep saying nearly there? I'm not even quarter of a way up. They're so polite round here. Just round the corner.
Do you know, it's one of the beautiful idiosyncrasies of our lives that a set of quite steep stairs is a tourist attraction that people will walk up and then down again, saying nearly there to everyone they meet. There might have been 199, I don't know. I lost count. There's certainly quite a lot of them.
Coming up, a Gothic encounter.
It's a very romantic notion of Dracula, who's essentially a serial killer, let's be honest.
And in the beautiful Knaresborough, I discover something else that's rather mysterious.
I'm still confused, but I love it.
Me and my camper van Helen are on a road trip through Yorkshire, the UK's largest county. I've finally ascended Whitby's famous 199 steps.
Nearly there. Everyone just keeps saying nearly there.
At the top are the Gothic ruins of the 13th century abbey. It's been inspiring visitors for nearly 1,500 years, most famously thanks to its connections with Dracula. Horror buff Paul Tukey made Whitby his home 18 years ago after coming here on holiday.
So tell me about you and this place. Obviously you love it. Why do you love it?
I think when you come, you have the impression that you've got from watching the horror films, and you know Dracula was set here. And you see things like this, the ruins and the graveyard right next, and it's just a big romantic image, you know?
I'm a big horror movie fan.
Yeah, me too,
Classic
yeah.
horror films.
Yeah, fantastic.
Used to sit with my granny watching them on the telly, and I think it's got a huge nostalgia for me. If you take Bram Stoker's Dracula, the book itself, largely forgotten in a way in the way that Dracula has been represented through films.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
some
Very
of them,
different from the book.
Very different from the book, and even going back to those wonderful Peter Cushing films as Van Helsing, that it's a very romantic notion of Dracula, who was essentially a serial killer, let's be honest. That's what it was.
Needs must.
Needs must, absolutely.
Some of Bram Stoker's most dramatic scenes were inspired by his holiday in Whitby. Tales from local seafarers and the windswept graveyard would all become ingredients in his famous novel.
I know in the town it's been embraced because there's Dracula memorabilia everywhere, isn't there?
Everywhere, absolutely. Yeah. If you want a toilet brush holder with Dracula on, you want a toothbrush with Dracula on, you want anything with Dracula on, you're in the right place.
Now you've said that, I now need a toilet brush holder with Dracula on it.
Since it was published in 1897, Bram Stoker's Dracula has never gone out of print, and he is the most portrayed literary character in film, featuring in over 500 films. Even today, the book gives a huge boost to the Whitby economy. My Yorkshire road trip is rolling on, and Helen's taking the strain through some incredible countryside.
This is the kind of landscape I love when I come to Yorkshire. The glorious North York moors. Honestly, it's stunning and dramatic and moody and it's just magnificent. It's everything you want from Yorkshire.
The North York Moors National Park contains one of the largest expanses of heather moorland in England, covering over 44,000 hectares. The highest point in this vast area is almost 1,500 feet above sea level. It's a wonderful wide open space, and over 23,000 people call the park home.
I tell you something, Helen loves the Yorkshire roads. You can hear her practically screaming. Come on, come on, come on. Right, come on, Helen. You can do it, my love, you can do it.
We're heading 70 miles southwest through beautiful farming country to the market town of Knaresborough.
I'm going to take a wee break because sometimes it's good to stretch the old legs after driving for a while. I'm going to find somewhere lovely to pull up and just have a wee moment out of the van.
My road trip is a distinctly low-tech affair, so I'm planning my next adventure with a book full of Yorkshire facts.
Let's see. I'm near Knaresborough, so what have we got? Mother Shipton.
Her real name was Ursula Sontail.
She married a local man despite being hideously ugly. Well, that's a bit judgmental, isn't it? Goodness sakes, poor woman. She was regarded as England's most celebrated prophetess and foretold the defeat of the Spanish Armada and the Great Fire of London. The cave where she's born is reached by a pleasant walk along the river through the trees. That sounds just a ticket, I think, doesn't it?
The cave is part of the oldest tourist attraction in England, which has been open since 1630. It lies close to the town of Knaresborough, a gorgeous spot with an imposing viaduct and lovely views over the River Nid.
I think this is one of the best things about taking a slightly unplanned road trip, because on the way you can see this beautiful river. And it's absolutely stunning. It kind of almost defies gravity in a way. The stillness of the water and the rapids below it.
And a walk along these banks on my way to the cave is a lovely way to meet new people.
Susan's my name.
I'm Alex.
Alex. I'm Rafi. Nice to meet you. Is it a special day out for you or just a day trip?
So
it's actually Alex's birthday.
It's my birthday today, yeah.
So many happy returns.
It's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. Drink Bacardi like it's your birthday. So the cave, just up there?
That's
Yes,
right.
yeah,
just
just
follow the path round and there's a wishing well there as well.
Thank you so much and happy birthday, my
No
darling.
worries. Thank you very much, Susan.
I'll see you
Lovely
later
to
today.
meet you. Take care.
darling.
Bye.
I'm nearing the cave, and it's all starting to feel a bit mysterious.
We're at, slightly, This is the petrifying well, open since 1630, apparently according to this little guidebook, and magical water that turns all it touches to stone. And just taking a wee closer look, I mean, they're strings of little teddy bears there.
Once thought to be magic, the high mineral content of the water means it will appear to coat an object in stone after 3 months. These toys show the transformation in action.
The lobster, still my favourite part of this entire thing. And what's quite sinister, see they're slowly turning with the force of the water, spiralling as if by an invisible hand. I'm still confused, but I love it, I really do. It's amazing. I mean...
It's a scene befitting of the story of Mother Shipton. She was born Ursula Sontail in 1488. With her hunched back and wart-ridden face, she is thought to have inspired the stereotypical caricature of a witch that survives today.
So, goodness me, this is where Ursula lived. And it says in the guidebook actually that sometimes people hold Ursula's hand for a bit of comfort.
Ursula, or Mother Shipton as she became known, taught herself to be a herbalist, but she was taunted by locals due to the way she looked. It's thought that in time she began to believe she was best off on her own.
I have such an affinity to women like this, I really do in my life, because genuinely someone like me would have been in trouble back in those days. So, you know, there but for a few hundred years, I'd probably be living in a cave with Ursula, and I think she'd be great company. So, I'm very, very sorry for what happened to you. She's certainly not ugly, as far as I'm concerned.
But there's a reason this place is Britain's oldest tourist attraction, and its big draw was once the wishing well. But to make your dreams come true, you must follow some very specific rules.
You can wish for anything you want except harm or money. And you can use a coin if you want to, but you can use your right hand. And the rules are, you put it in, you wish, and then you have to let your hand air dry. You can't wipe it on anything. So,
And of course, I'd love to share my wish with you, but then it wouldn't come true. I'm on a great adventure through beautiful Yorkshire, but the journey crossing the moors is continuing to take its toll on poor Helen.
I mean, if you're looking for smooth gear transitions, this is not the van. But if you're looking for general all-over excitement, got you covered.
Our next destination is the grand cathedral city of York. Located exactly halfway between Edinburgh and London, it's surely one of the most beautiful cities in the country. But before I can explore the historic heart of the place, Helen needs a quick pit stop.
A little bit of a hiccup. Helen didn't sound very well, so I've got someone coming just to check she's okay. Doesn't matter though, I'm in York, which is the perfect walking city, so I'm going off on an adventure on my own. Good luck, Helen.
Helen was due a rest anyway, as no visit here is complete without a walk around the fabulous medieval walls. At just over 2 miles in length, they're the most complete example of city walls in England.
I remember coming here at school on a school trip, I think many people did, to the Yorkshire Viking Centre. Because there's a huge history here of the Vikings, but there's also a huge history of the Romans in this wonderful place. Learnt about it in Latin, don't judge me. Ecce in picture est puella nomine Flavia. Never leaves you.
See, I'd be fine if I bumped into any of Yorkshire's ancient Romans. Speaking of which... But it's all getting just a bit lively for me.
Oh, hi, sorry. Gents, calm down. My goodness, I don't mean to interrupt. Take a breather. It's all very violent, isn't it? Take a breather. Hi, I'm Susan.
I'm Elizabeth.
Look, this isn't something I've normally come across in my travels in York. Just let me know, what's going on behind me?
Well, we're just practicing a little bit of gladiator combat.
Okay. It's just a beautiful thing to watch, it really is.
These reenactors from a group called Comitatus recreate Roman gladiatorial battles and are a reminder of York's warrior past.
And in terms of York itself, obviously an incredibly beautiful city. Who is it that kind of made this happen? Is there a particular emperor? Who is it that was responsible for this?
It's the Emperor Septimius Severus. He's using this as a base to move into Caledonia, as they called it.
Yes. Question, this or this means
Right.
doom.
So a gladiator would ask for mercy by raising their hand or two fingers. And you could either say, palm down, I have mercy.
Mercy.
A closed fist just meant carry on.
Right.
Or if you take your thumb and bring it down towards your collarbone, that means habet, or let him have it.
Oh, right. So that means no thank you, you're in trouble.
Yes.
That's like when I talk sometimes quite a lot, and that's the kind of symbol my wife makes when we're at lunch and I'm talking too much and she just goes like that. That means shut up. Mercy, carry on.
It's a good system.
Yeah, it's quite good actually. In any relationship, if you're watching, just employ the Romans' way of saying, that's fine, carry on, shut up. It's slightly disconcerting. I've just looked behind me and there's two men in masks behind me standing just nodding along. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, not too bad.
Oh, I love it. Not too bad, thanks.
For all we know, that's exactly how York's gladiators sounded. Though I think for me, this is definitely a spectator sport.
I can show you some moves if you like.
And my problem is my arm reach is fairly limited. It's like, you know when you see cartoons and people are just holding someone while they're swinging, that's what it is. So if you two boys carry on for me, and thank you so much, Elizabeth, for talking to me about all this wonderful stuff.
Thank you.
So I'll just head off to for lunch.
I'd never have lasted in Roman Yorkshire. But it's made me work up an appetite for a special Yorkshire delicacy. The Yorkshire pudding is an essential part of every Sunday roast, but I've heard a modern spin on the classic has been born. Called the Yorkie Pud Wrap, it brings an entire roast into one tasty, on-the-go snack. Hello.
Hi.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, I'm Susan.
Hi. Shan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Shan. I would really like, because it sounds amazing, one of the Yorkshire pudding wrap things.
Pork, beef, ham or turkey?
Turkey, always turkey, please.
Back in 1737, the first ever recipe for Yorkshire pudding was published. Originally called dripping pudding, it was a cheap and filling way to use leftovers to feed the whole family. By the 20th century, it became a staple side dish across the UK for the Great British Roast. But today, it's retaking centre stage.
And would you like the vegetables?
Do you know, no thank you.
No?
No. Really what I'd like is turkey, roast potatoes and gravy. Like a meal of beige, if possible. Can I have that?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure you don't want to go for no veg?
No, I'm going to stand firm on the veg. No, I'm going to stand firm on that. And before you think it's stereotypical, right, a Glaswegian doesn't want veg, it's just because I prefer the taste. I want the turkey to be unsullied by vegetables.
Yeah.
I really do love vegetables. It's just I'm an adult and I make my own choices.
Is there a particular way I should eat this so I don't make a fool of myself?
I think if you don't eat without making a mess, then you're not eating it properly. That's it.
The other day, Shan, I was sitting in my living room looking at Instagram, and you know when you look at all the influencers on Instagram who make lots of money selling things?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why am I not an Instagram influencer? And I realised it's because when I had my lunch, I'd bent over and I had beans all over my top. I'd gone like that, and I just had beans everywhere, and that's why I'm not an Instagram influencer.
I'm definitely like that when I eat. It's got to be messy or you're not enjoying it.
But
Definitely.
I love the beans that I had. That's the main thing. So are you toasting it?
So I'm toasting your wrap now. I get all the ingredients in there, toast it.
Yeah?
Then it seals it all together and then you're ready to go with your wrap then.
Oh, Shan, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. It smells lovely, doesn't it?
Oh, it smells lovely. Thank you, Shan. I love you, Shan.
Love you too.
I love you.
Love you.
With tonight's roast dinner sorted, there's more good news, as Helen is back on the road and running better than ever. It just became a bit much for her. She was a wee bit overwhelmed by the beauty of Yorkshire, I think.
So she went to see a mechanic, everything's absolutely fine, and I couldn't be happier.
We're heading 50 miles west to Haworth, on the edge of the Pennine Moors.
Will she get up the hill? I think she'll get up the hill. Come on, Helen. It's like being on a roller coaster every single day.
Helen's lovely company, but of course, whilst on the road, I'm missing home. So I think I'll give her a wee break whilst I check in with my wife.
Hi, sweetie. I'm just in Yorkshire. I wanted to give you a call.
Hey, darling. How you doing?
I'm doing very good, thank you. Yorkshire's beautiful. Helen broke down a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she's an old lady.
Oh, poor Helen.
I know. So I
clapped out, Helen.
You can't say that about Helen. You know how much I love Helen Mirren. You can't say that.
Listen, I was going to put your red dress through the washing machine and I couldn't find it. It wasn't in your wardrobe. Have you taken it with you?
No, I mean, why? I wouldn't need to bring it with me. Would I? Okay. No. I mean, I wouldn't need it. I wouldn't need it. So why would I bring it with me?
I'll have a better look.
Yeah. Okay, have a better look because it's not with me. Love you lots, honey, and I'll see you soon. Okay.
Okay, love you too, babe.
Okay, bye.
Well, that's kind of true. I didn't need to bring it with me, but I certainly wanted to, and for a very specific reason. I'm heading into Brontë country, where Emily Brontë wrote her classic Wuthering Heights. But for me, it's the song by Kate Bush and her particular outfit that really brought the story to life.
The reason I love Wuthering Heights' Kate Bush version, I mean, I love Kate Bush anyway. She was such an incredible individual. But that song is so recognisable and that video is so recognisable that in the way that the book didn't necessarily speak to me about passion and unrequited love, that song really does. And I remember, my friends and I still do it, the dance. And for a certain generation, I think, as soon as that happens, you know exactly what Kate Bush is doing. It's one of the best songs and videos, I think, of all time. Love it.
Kate Bush is an 80s icon who inspired a whole generation. So here on the moors, it's time for me to channel my inner Kate and pay tribute to her, Calmans style. They say you should dance like there's no one watching, and lucky for me, there's only Helen here. Well, that's that ticked off the bucket list. And if you're ever in this glorious part of the world, make sure to pack a red dress. Helen and I are nearing the final leg of our Yorkshire adventure.
I tell you something, Helen has coped really well on these roads. And she's such a good companion on these trips.
We're now in Haworth, also known as Brontë country. The village was home to the Brontë sisters from 1820 to 1861 and was the inspiration for Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights, books that any fan of a cosy TV drama will know very well.
I have what could be termed quite a complicated relationship with the Brontë sisters, specifically Emily Brontë. I studied Wuthering Heights as part of my higher English at school, and I think whenever you study a book at school, you never quite love it as much as if you read it kind of your own volition. So I love it, but it worries me.
When Yorkshire parson Patrick Brontë became the curate at the nearby church, the family moved to this imposing and beautiful parsonage. It's here the sisters would hone their craft and pen their famous books.
This is honestly one of the most awe-inspiring and jaw-dropping places I've been to. It's so atmospheric. Now, they wrote those works in this house right behind me. And it feels actually quite thrilling to get to go inside.
Today, the Brontë sisters hold a revered place in Britain's history. But in this house, they began their literary efforts as children.
This is apparently where they used to write the stories, and they would walk around the table and tell each other them. Kind of like you would do with your brothers and sisters. It's It's a very human aspect of the story, I think, thinking about them doing that. And because we remember them as names, but they were people who were here, walking around this table.
Their former home is a museum in their honour, and it shows that not all of their efforts were in pursuit of great literature. They loved toy soldiers and made tiny books for each of their figurines to read.
I am absolutely obsessed with miniature things. This is going to sound really strange. I love miniature furniture and miniature biscuit tins and doll's house furniture, even though I don't have a doll's house. It's a very strange quirk I've got, so this immediately appeals to me. But I love it as well because it's part of their imagination. It's part of their creative journey. But also, they were written so small, so the adult eyes couldn't read them. I would have that on my wall rather than a painting any day because they're beautiful, stunning.
Which reminds me, I should put pen to paper myself and send a postcard home. Luckily, I'm spoiled for choice.
I'm immediately drawn anything with an animal on it, and I think this is Emily. This is Emily Bronte's little dog. I always send a postcard with an animal on it if I can. This is the perfect one, I think.
I'm popping over to the old schoolhouse building. It's where Emma Littlejohns from the Brontë Museum is demonstrating how the sisters wrote such tiny words.
Before we start, I must reveal something to you, Emma. It's not the first time I've had a quill and ink. I did calligraphy when I was younger because, I mean, I'm down with the kids.
It's also making sure that you don't have too much ink on your quill as well. So you've got to make sure to get that off. Yeah.
I know that from my birthday invitations for my 13th party. No one came. It's fine. Okay, so you start off then. Show me how you would do that.
So I've just got, I think, a minimal amount of ink, and I'll just write my name or hello. Not the smallest, but you've got to start big and get smaller.
And while we're here, I do wonder what Emma thinks of the Brontes' bigger accomplishments.
Glasses on. So Emma, Heathcliff, attractive or not?
In the book, no.
In the film of my life, I'm played by flaming supermodel Kate Moss. I mean, you know, look how dated that reference was. I mean, this is the thing. I did calligraphy as a teenager, and my only supermodel reference is Kate Moss. It's like I've been in a flaming time tunnel.
Being transported back.
What do you think about Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights?
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah. We have a little dance at the Christmas party to it.
Do you?
Yeah, it's tradition.
My red dress may yet get another airing this year, but for now my miniature calligraphy is looking the part.
I will be home soon. Now, Emma, what do you think of that?
That's really good, yeah.
It's not bad, eh? Thank you very much. Don't read it, it's rambling about cats, but it's not bad, it's quite small.
No, it's really good, yeah.
Isn't it? Do you know, genuinely, this is one of the most relaxing.
It is,
It's lovely, isn't
you
it?
You just like sit and write random words in my case.
Well,
let's do it.
Never mind your texting or your tweeting. Get yourself a quill and writing tiny letters. Thanks, Emma. Very proud of that.
Although whether my other half will be able to read it is a different matter. My scenic tour of Yorkshire is almost at an end, but as Helen and I take to the road, there's one final place I just have to visit.
It's going to be quite hard to find somewhere more beautiful than everywhere I've already been. So I'm heading somewhere that is, I've heard, utterly spectacular.
25 miles northward is the magnificent Malham Cove. At 80 metres high and 300 metres wide, this gently curving cliff of white limestone has fascinated visitors for centuries and is a popular stop for road trippers.
Fancy van. I prefer you, Helen.
The steps to the top won't be the only thing that'll take your breath away. Formed over 330 million years ago, it's one of the most impressive natural features in Yorkshire.
You know, I've been all around the world and I've seen quite a few views and vistas, but this one is pretty spectacular, isn't it? It looks like it goes on for miles, because it does, of course, but it looks like it goes on forever. And the light changes all the time on the hills, and the shadows just change and morph. It's the kind of view which, if you saw it on a postcard, you wouldn't believe it. But it's real and it's right there.
With dramatic views of rolling countryside, I can't think of a better place to end my journey around this part of scenic Britain.
Yorkshire's been just as magnificent and brooding and dramatic as I expected. But it's also warm and the people absolutely lovely. I honestly, honestly adore this place. And you should come. Just to warn you though, there are a lot of steps.
Such a beautiful day.
Next time.
Cattle grid, steady yourselves.
Me and my campervan Helen are exploring the gorgeous Cotswolds.
Well, I was not expecting this.
Making friends.
I'm finding this a very gentle and relaxing experience.
Seeing the sights.
This is incredible.
The traditions.
Don't hit yourself, Calman.
The treats.
You need to keep talking, because every time you talk, you can take a mouthful. Come on, Calman.
And having a great adventure.